What's up, everybody? It's the Tip Trader. In this video, we're going to go over market structure, and I have three key steps on how I identify a market structure switch. So in this video, as you may know, market structure is just bias. It's the trend. The trend is your friend. The trend will be your best friend. The trend will win and have you taking profit again. So let's just make sure that we are trending in the right direction. A few things. Price could very well be trending on the higher time frame, aka external structure, one way, and then on a smaller time frame, the internal structure could be completely different, going the opposite way. So always be aware that price at any given time frame could be going any different direction. 5 minutes can be different from the 15 minutes. 15 minutes can be different from a 30 minutes. 30 minutes can be different from an hour, 4 hours, and so forth. So don't think that just because price on one time frame means that price is going that way on the other time frames. You would get messed up, and screwed over thinking about like that. So always understand that different price points, they're going to be different structure. Okay, cool. With that being said, there are three types of trend. You have uptrend, when higher lows and higher highs are being made, and then you have the downtrend, which is lower highs and lower lows. So the first step we're going to do is, this is more of a higher time frame, but this is price in a selling market switching buyers. So this is usually what you see on a higher time frame. It's more structured. It looks more, identifiable. So as you may know, highs being made, lows being made, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, right? So with this three simple step method on how I see market structure switch, what we're looking for is very simple, right? We're looking for, after initial low is being made for an uptrend, we're looking for a change of character, right? Which is basically just a higher low, price sweeping the previous low, right? And then what we want to see is price respecting the lows, right? Whether it's up here, whether it's down here, we want price to close above the previous low. Anytime you see price close below, right, below the previous low, this is a fake out. This is how you get faked out, right? You have to wait until you see these three things: the low being respected, right? As long as it does not close below, it could be a double bottom, that's cool. And then the final step we need is a new high or a break of structure, right? And all that is just price going past the previous higher low and making a higher high, confirming this switch. And then we're going to see higher lows, right? Usually around here, where resistance was once made, it becomes support, right? And then we want to see price kind of make its way up. Very simple. This is what you would see more so on a 1 hour, 4 hours. Very clean, very straightforward, right? This is how sideways market, consolidation looks, right? Be wary. We don't trade these. Can you trade this? Yes. But usually price is just going side by side. How you identify that? You're going to make a zone, right? You're going to make your zone and watch price just bounce in between that zone. And usually price likes to fake out one way, the next way, and can either continue the trend, right? Or it'll fake out down here and reverse and come up, either or. But we want to stay away from this. This is just how we identify sideways market. Draw out your zone and watch price just kind of come back and forth between this until it starts making, as we know, lower lows or higher highs and higher highs, lower highs, higher highs, and keep it going. Either or. but that's sideways market. And then we have an uptrend switching down. This is more so on the 1 minute, 5 minute, 15 minutes. This is how price looks. It looks a lot more detailed. It looks a lot more confusing, right? What I'm going to break down to you guys is that it works on every level. This 3-step process works on the lowest of the lowest time frame. So you have to be aware, and as you gain experience, you will see it happening before it happens, right? So let's say this is the 5 minute, right? These are 5 minute candles. What we're looking for is, as we see higher highs being made, but then we see lower highs in here. We have, relevant lows. This is actually a lower low, right, than these. And then we got price making, this is a high, relevant high, a higher low, right? So this is the 5 minute, right? So it looks a lot like this too. It looks confusing, like you don't know really what kind of structure it's gonna make because it's very detailed. But at any given moment on the 5 minute, right? This was the previous low. So we're gonna wait on the 5 minute. We're gonna wait for this price to break here. So what usually happens is on the lower time frame, price will switch, and it's up for you to identify that, right? So let's say this is the 15 seconds, 30-second time frame. What happened is this low was made. This was a lower high, right? So here we have the change of character on the 30 seconds, right? And then this high was being respected. This high was being respected. And then we have the break of structure, right? And this is on the 30 seconds. So this is on a very small time, a smaller time frame. And then as it broke structure on the 30 seconds, we see that it made a change of character on the 5 minute. So not only is this our confirmation that, okay, this is the first market structure switch, but you want it to switch on a higher time frame if you want it to be more of a stronger, higher time frame is obviously stronger. So we want to see it change on the 5 minute to confirm that this is actual downtrend. But on the 30 seconds, we already see the market structure switch. So now we have a change of character on the 5 minute. We see price respects this high, right? It doesn't break past. It made a double top, but it does not break and close above this area, which is the second confirmation. Then the third confirmation would be, you see it made a low, then another high, broke the previous low and closed below, giving us the official break of structure on our 5 minute time frame, which is confirming that, okay, we kind of want to get in, we want to look for sales to our next zone, price point, or key area. As simple as it may sound, let's go ahead and see actual price action, and let's just go ahead and identify market structure. Right now, it's Tuesday, the 13th, and we see on the higher time frame, you always want to start on your higher time frame when you're looking at market structure. An uptrend, right, is making higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs. We're at this high, right? We have bearish rejection right here, right? You can call this a double top at some point. We have 1, 2, 3 rejections or touches on this high right here that was made. And this is the previous low. So we have price trying to break this low, right? So once price breaks this low right here, this will be the official change of character, which is the first step, right? And then the second step will be, obviously, as it breaks this is going to be the second. This is going to be the change of character on a higher time frame, right? Maybe the hour, maybe the 4 hours. But for right now, on the smaller time frame, on the 15 minutes, this is the change of character. On the 5 minute, this is the change of character. So it already made a change of character. What we're looking for is price to come back, right? and respect this high. Once it respects this high and it does not close above, and it closes anywhere around here, this area right here, we want to see price come back to this area and just respect the high. Once we see that, the third and last thing we're looking for is break of structure. So we need price to come back down and close below here to identify this market structure shift, below here to identify this market structure shift on the 15 minutes. It has to happen on here before it can happen on here. It has to happen on here before it can happen on here. This is what I mean. External structure, internal structure. They're going to be different. Price can very well switch on here and come back down here and still respect this low and come back up here, come way back up here, right? So it was a switch on this time frame, but it was not a switch on this time frame. So be careful, guys. External, internal market structure will, differentiate, and you don't want to get lost in the sauce. That's what price is currently doing. We're looking at this this test of this low, right? And from there, we can determine if it's going to break down and give us that change of character on the 15 minutes, right? Because it hasn't happened on the 15 minutes. We need this to happen on the 15 minutes to actually consider a shift. So let's go here. This is the hour. We have this low being broke, right? See, but what happened was this low did not get retested. So this was the low right here, right? This is the previous low. So as we can see, price respected this, came back up. This is what we want to. This is where we're going to put our identification marker or our horizontal line to see if price is going to go below this, because as we see, it's making highs, it's making highs, it's making highs, and then bam, what we have is price changing character, right? Right? It changed character. It broke and closed below right here. And this is the hour, guys, so it's a little bit different. And then what happened was price, and it respected this high. And what happened was you got this zone being tested once, twice, and rejected and made a lower low, right? So now this lower low is what we want to see price continuing to make, lower lows. This was the lower highs, right? Lower lows. This right here is a lower high, right? This high was lower than this high. So bam. And price continued back under there, right? It continued back under here, right? Then it came and retested this high, but it didn't break above. So that's not a change of character, not yet. And then it returns to this low, making a double bottom, right? So it respected this low. The next thing we have is on a smaller time frame, right? Maybe the 5 minute, maybe the 15 minute. This high, we have double bottom. This high came down, change of character. So price doesn't always come way back down here and respect this low. Sometimes it just gives it a little pullback, and then obviously it respected this low because it never came close. And then next thing you know, change of character, right? Number one. Number two is the respect of the low. It did not come nowhere near, right? And then the next thing is the break of structure. So it broke this structure. It broke this previous high, right? And it closed below. So that was indication of, okay, we're going to start seeing, and it broke the previous, right, the previous resistance. Now it broke and it became support, right? Another retest of this high, respected the low, and it continued to make higher highs, right? Very simple 3-step process on to identify market structure shift. Very, very simple. If you don't understand it, watch this video again. I break it down to 3 simple steps, and you can back test this in the market. It works. It will not work in sideways market, so be careful. Just understand your internal structure, which is the lower time frame, the hour and lower, and identify your external structure, which is the higher time frame, which is 4 hours and up, 2 hours and up, right? So you can understand how price is reacting within the zone, within the higher time frame. So you kind of have a great identification on true bias. So you want to understand the true bias. Very simple, whether it's lower lows, lower highs being made, higher highs being made. We're looking for these 3 simple steps: change of character, the respect of the low or the high, and then we need the break of the new high or the new low, aka break of structure. And that is how we identify, that is how I identify market structure switch in the markets on any time frame. It happens every time frame, it happens every day. And whether it's pretty choppy or it's very clean, it's the same thing that happens. As you practice it more and more, you get better at understanding the market, price action, and the true structure. And it's a blessing, man. It's a blessing to always understand the trend, because the trend is your friend. And you definitely will win a lot more when you're in a good trend and you know the trend. This is my 3-step process on how I hope you guys understand. I hope you guys can, take this and use it to your advantage. So yeah, I hope you guys like the video. I'll catch you guys in the next video. I'm out.